UES, safe travels. Last known coordinates of the UES, contact light. We're here, Captain. The distress beacon came from this exact coordinate. This planet, it isn't on any star maps we know. This area isn't even on Realm. Any visuals on the contact light? No, sir. Just debris. Any signs of survivors? No, sir. Bioscanner is dark. Sir, the distress beacon, it mentioned a lot. Monsters, fighting. Sir, do you think we're ready? Sir? Well, look how that went then. Risk of Rain 2 is an incredible game, and for me at least, one of the best examples of the importance of bespoke gameplay first as a development choice, making the experience of the player everything before considering anything else. No other game does that better than Risk of Rain 2 that I can really think of the top of my head. Now, I know this is quite a jump from the, funny Roblox horror game. But I desperately wanted to pour my heart out over some gameplay for this masterpiece of a game. So go ahead and enjoy whatever the hell this is. Selecting the first choice, single player, will provide you with the setup screen. Here, you are immediately given two key hooks for the game to get you going. Firstly, unlocked and locked characters, and secondly, relics. Relics are items that you can unlock by doing special code events. No, I do not have all of them, as I don't have 200 hours to spend gaming. Who do you think I... Characters can be unlocked by, well, dozens of different ways, but they are both all unlockable through pure gameplay alone. No paywall, and no oblique grind in a traditional sense. If you want a particular character, complete the specific gameplay required for that character, organically giving the player the freedom to decide what their own objectives are, which is so lost sometimes on modern gaming.
Another settlement has sent word that they need our help. I'll mark it on your map. Go find out what they need. You could use more settlements supporting our cause.
To demonstrate just how good this game is at hooking you, I'm going to let the gameplay of a fresh, new run play all on its own, just so you can feel how well it draws you in. The slow, building music from the masterfully crafted soundtrack, which, trust me, I will talk about plenty in a bit. The complete freedom provided by just letting you go, run around and progress on your own. The difficulty scaler in the top right hinting clearly that it's only going to scale upward more as you move through the stages. And the immediate call to action as enemies are just there, ready for you to fight, with no hand-holding whatsoever. You literally have to learn how to play. Here, I found a small, interactable shrine and am merely invited to challenge the mountain. This is another aspect I absolutely adore about this game. You are just given cool things, and it's completely your choice whether you choose to engage it or not. In this case, challenging the mountain means doubling the amount of bosses spawned during that stage's teleport event. Even trickier for me, as in this run, one of my artifacts is already doubling all monster spawns. And yes, it stacks. Everything does. Meaning I'll be fighting, at minimum, 4 bosses at once. Just like that. I also have 3 other artifacts active for this run that I believe create the most fun and interesting gameplay on the hardest difficulty. And if you're one of those people who think artifacts are cheating, then you're welcome to let your perfectly valid and not stupid opinion be known in the comments below. The first and probably the best of these 3 is the artifact of command. This allows me to select any item for a given item of that rarity that drops, changing the random chance of every item into a choice, though still limiting the rarities. This allows me to run my favourite build that I have dubbed Crack Addict, where I inject myself with needles and monster energy, causing my movement and attack speed to become completely stupid. This artifact fuses best with the next of the 3, the artifact of Sacrifice, which causes enemies to drop items at the cost of completely removing chests. Money from kills is mostly used to open chests within the game, other than, summoning the healing drone and gunner drones. The chests then contact RNGs from the loot table and give you a random item. This is the same for enemy drops now, though a lot lower. It is also important to note that the artifacts of Swarms, that doubles monster spawn, does adjust loot drops accordingly. So you can't just double all loot drops or boss drops. That can only be increased by challenging the mountain, as I mentioned before. Finally, the last artifact I like to use, the artifact of Dissonance, which causes enemies to spawn outside of their usual environment. Honestly, this just makes the game utter hell, but a fun one, as you might face bosses from stage 5 on stage 2 or 3 as regular enemies depending on how far you let the slider go before progressing. These are just 4 of the 19 total artifacts available in the game, which you can run in any combination. That is over 500,000 separate gameplay variations just from artifacts alone. I am now going to show you a compiled teleporter event, the method of progressing between stages where I fight 2 beetle queens and even get a legendary item. Just like the rest of the game, these events come with their own incredibly dynamic music. Watch how the volume and the velocity of the track change both when I start the fight and as I leave the teleporter area. I mean, come on. If that's not cinema, I have no idea what is. Because I donated a Lunar coin, the game's second and much rarer currency that is persistent across runs, to a Newt altar, I have the option of travelling through the blue portal as opposed to the teleporter to the next stage. Doing so transfers me to one of the game's many bonus areas, the Bazaar Between Time. Here, a mysterious gecko man will sell you blue rarity trinkets, being items or equipment that usually have extremely good benefits at the cost of a big downside. It also comes with a spot to trade items for uncommons and even a legendary. Now, the artifact of command kind of breaks this area a little bit, as purchasing any item or legendary allows me to choose what the item will be, whether it was listed or not, which is actually kind of broken, I will admit. Even so, I always pick up the shaped glass, doubling my damage at the cost of half my health. Like I said, Crack Addict build. Now, the music. Dear God, the music. I could make an entire video essay about just the music, but I want to be able to upload within the next year, so I won't. Unless you comment about it, I am a slave to the people. The entire track is masterfully created by, and I will butcher this, Chris,
Christodoulou,
who has created an entirely magical atmosphere with his music in this game. The entire soundtrack is in multiple of my Spotify playlists, and for perfectly good reason. The songs will transcend from slight synthy tracks that creep into your mind, that transform into Now, due to my sheer respect for Chris and fear that this may get taken down, I won't play too much of it, but I absolutely, highly recommend you go check out the soundtrack, even if the game isn't for you, as the music alone is good enough of a reason to. All in all though, music that dynamically adapts perfectly to your activities and explodes with excitement is such a key piece of game development that is so often ignored by bigger and smaller projects alike. It gives such immense weight to your experience of the game and your interaction with it. I remember playing RimWorld for the first time, and the music of that game made me lose hours of my life as I became utterly and completely invested in it, completely focusing on my colony and the world around it and nothing else. That is the exact same feeling I get with Risk of Rain, and I think that sums up this game best, and how bespoke game design, when done properly, can make you completely forget you're even in a game in the first place. For my final thoughts, I just want you to do one thing: buy the game, play it, just for an hour or two or whatever, even if you hate it. Steam will refund you, but just try it. Games like these are so amazingly rare to come across, and I just hope utter art like this never stops being made. Just don't play the DLC.